Good afternoon and welcome to the City of Cardiff and to the graduation ceremony of Cardiff University. Prynawn da, a chroesori Dinas Cardiff ac I ceremony radio Prifysgol Cardiff. I'm Louise Casella and it's with great pleasure that as University Director I welcome you all to today's graduation ceremony. We are here to celebrate our students' achievements and I'm particularly pleased to welcome parents, family and friends to join in this celebration. I'm joined here on stage by the representative of the University President, Sir Donald Walters, the Vice-Chancellor, Dr David Grant, and the Students' Union representative, Miss Amy Harrison. Sir Donald Walters will formally open proceedings, and the Vice-Chancellor will receive students to their award. To my left is Professor David Skilton, the University's Orator, and later he will introduce our Honorary Fellow. Honorary Fellowships are awarded at our graduation ceremonies to those who have achieved international distinction in their field. And today, we are honoured to welcome the physicist, higher education leader and good friend of Cardiff University, Professor Sir Roger Williams. Students, today marks a marvellous milestone in your life, as it does in the lives of those who have supported you over the last few years, and it's good to see so many of them here today. I'm sure it will enhance your understanding and enjoyment of the day if we spend a few moments going through the procedures for the ceremony. For those of you receiving an award today, perhaps you thought passing your exams was the biggest challenge in gaining your degree, but an even bigger challenge faces you here today. You still have to cross the stage without tripping or falling over and shake hands with the right person. Try not to accept your award from anyone other than the Vice-Chancellor. The order of proceedings is included in the programme, along with the words used for the various stages of the ceremony. A presenter will read out the names of the students being received the same award. When each name is called, the student will ascend the stage, walk towards the Vice-Chancellor and shake his hand. Gently, please. Whilst past experience has shown this to be a little more challenging than it sounds, your approach to the stage and your return to your seat will be carefully guided by our marshals, so please do not worry. Once the ceremony gets underway, it really is a case of follow my leader. When you leave the stage, you will stand with your group, facing the Vice-Chancellor, who will formally receive you to your awards. You will doff in reply, and then you'll be reseated by the marshals. When all awards have been received, students will be asked to stand to receive the university's greetings. Parents and friends, I know this is a big day for you all. We understand completely your pride and enthusiasm for your graduate this afternoon. However, and importantly, can I ask you to clap only after the Vice-Chancellor has admitted each group of graduates to their award, and not as each one crosses the stage. This will ensure your hands are still in reasonable working order by the end of the ceremony, and that you all make it out of here in time for further celebrations this evening. So I repeat, clap and cheer only after each group of graduates has been admitted to their award. Can I also ask you all to check your mobile phones are switched off, please? We will be providing some musical entertainment later in the ceremony, and I can assure you it will be much better than anything your combined ringtones can produce. Finally, and importantly, enjoy the ceremony.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's my great pleasure to welcome you to Cardiff and to this graduation ceremony. In this very special year for Cardiff University, our 125th anniversary. To overcome the anonymity of these caps and gowns, may I first introduce myself. I'm Donald Walters, and I'm a member of the University's Council, the governing body. May I also add my personal congratulations to all of you who are graduating. You have studied long and hard, had misgivings, no doubt had anxious moments. But you've earned your place at this ceremony and to have achieved a qualification from the university, which has 125 years of service and achievement behind it, and a very bright future in front of it. You can be confident that the qualification which you've earned from Cardiff University is held in high regard, not just in Britain, but globally. Indeed, Cardiff has been recognised as one of the top 100 universities in the world. Employers endorse the qualities and values that Cardiff promotes. The university continues to be targeted by major employers, and the employment levels of our graduates remain very strong. I trust that has been the experience of those of you who are about to start your careers, whilst those of you continuing your studies will find that you have a solid foundation on which to build. You graduate in a year of phenomenal success for Cardiff. First, the award of the Nobel Prize for Medicine to Professor Sir Martin Evans. Secondly, record-breaking levels of new research funding, with awards totaling more than £110 million. Thirdly, investment in teaching and research facilities, including the £21 million new building for School of Optometry and Vision Sciences, and almost £30 million of new biomedical imaging centres. Next, the launch of one of the world's most powerful supercomputers, delivering high-powered technology necessary to tackle today's big research questions. Continued popularity as the UK's 8th most sought-after university, with some 37,000 applications for undergraduate places and increasing numbers of applications from students worldwide. Continuing innovation, including the unique Cardiff International Academy of the Voice, providing individual training for the opera stars of the future, who you will see perform later in this ceremony. A range of activities on community and other external engagement, including some notable achievements by Cardiff students. This year, well over 1,000 of our students took part in organised voluntary activities, and doubtless many more participated in those organised by others. There's much more that I could point to as evidence of the international distinction of this university, including the prizes, awards, and other distinctions earned by the academic staff, such as the award of the Queen's Anniversary Prize to the Institute of Medical Genetics, part of the School of Medicine. There's no doubt that Cardiff's come a long way from its humble beginnings in 1883, when Principal John Viriamu Jones led a university with just 13 members of staff and 151 students. Now we have nearly 6,000 staff and 26,000 students. On its journey over the last 125 years, Cardiff has evolved, growing into the world-leading institution we have before us today. I'm delighted that all of you have been part of that journey and will, as alumni, continue to share in our success. Each of you can also help contribute towards our success. As you go forth into the world of work, you may in time have the opportunity and inclination to support the students of the future through the Cardiff University Annual Fund. This year, you may like to think about supporting the 125 for 125 appeal, which aims to raise enough support for a further 125 scholarships and bursaries at Cardiff University. With all your help in the future, we could enable other students to experience a day like today. And above all, in the immediate future, may I commend those of you who haven't done so already to leave your name and address at the alumni office so that you can be informed of events and what is happening in the development of this university. Ladies and gentlemen, please now sit back, relax, and enjoy the ceremony. Thank you.
Formal proclamation of the congregation will be read first in Welsh, then in English. Nerth gwlad ei gwybodaeth. A nation's strength is in its learning. Boed hysbys I holl aelodau'r brifysgol ac ar hyd a lled y byd fod cynulliad o Brifysgol Caerdydd yn cael ei gynnal heddiw ym Mhrifddinas Cymru. O dan awdurdod Siarter Frenhinol y Brifysgol, mae'r cynulliad hwn yn cyfarfod I dderbyn y myfyrwyr sydd yn rhinwedd eu hastudiaethau a'i hysgolheictod wedi harholi'n briodol yn unol astudiau'r Brifysgol ac wedi cael yn deilwng o'i graddau. Wrth ddathlu llwyddiant y rhai sy'n graddio yn y cynulliad hwn, fe hatgoffwn eu cyfrifoldeb I gyfrannu o werthoedd y Brifysgol hon. Nod iddynt hwy i'w ceisio, drwy eu cyflawniadau, wasanaethu ar lles pawb, ymdrechu sicrhau rhagoriaeth ym mhopeth ac yn boeni am ddyfodol ein byd. Gwrandewch yn awchus ar ddaethineb, gan ei fod yn cynnig gobaith a gwirionedd ym mhob cenhedlaeth. Let it be known to all members of the University and throughout the world that today in the capital city of Wales, a congregation of Cardiff University is taking place. Under the authority of the University's Royal Charter, this congregation meets to receive those students who, by virtue of their studies and scholarship, have been appropriately examined according to the statutes of the University and were found worthy of degrees. We celebrate the success of those who graduate in this congregation, and in doing so, remind them of the responsibility to share in the values of the University. It is for them to seek, through their achievements, to serve the common good, to strive for excellence in all things, and care for the future of our world. Be attentive to wisdom, for it offers hope and truth in every generation.
I, Professor Diane Edwards, introduce those who have received the degree of Bachelor of Science. Rwy fi yr athro Diane Edwards yn cynflwyno'r rhai sydd wedi derbyn gradd baglor mewn gwirionedd. John Bennett. Daniel Blampier. Andrew William Bray. Andrew Brooks. Lawrence Axel Carrington. Jennifer Rose Christopher. Victoria Elizabeth Cole. Duncan Dawson. Sean Michael Discombe. Danielle Caroline Evans. Lara Elizabeth Evans. Victoria Elizabeth Evans. Jamie Gallagher. Owen Edward George. Anna Bryony Graham. John Robert Griffiths. Rachel Emma Jones. Yasmin Labibi. Daniel Price Lawrence. Scott James Layton. Gemma Kate Margaret Long. Claire Joanne Madden. James Marriott. Kevin John McGinn. James Paul Millett.
Good afternoon. At this point in the ceremony, and at other equivalent times, it is a tradition of the University for the Vice-Chancellor to speak in Welsh to receive each group of graduates to their awards. The Welsh phrase I will use, when translated, means, "Through the authority conferred upon me by the University, I receive you to the degree," which I will name, "and to all the privileges of that degree." Rwy awdurdod a brifysgol a ymddirchiedwyd I mi derbyniad chwir a baglor mewn gwyddoniaeth ag I holl franiau radd hon. Congratulations.
Morris. Claire Anna Morrison. Amy Northern. Jonathan Payne. Kate Penn. Christian Pontin. Adam William Patt. Stuart Rolfs. Jack Shaw. Hannah Mary Thomas. Nicola Louise Thomas. Beverly Hannah Watling. Robert Glyn Wensley. Simon Williams. Lee Wills. Thomas Edward Crossman. Robert Davis. Benjamin Martin Dean. Georg Philip Deit. Robert Giles Goddard. Jonathan Kevin Hodgins. Adam Horton. Oliver Mark Lawrence Jones. David Constance. Sheor Majoro.
Trwy awdurdod y Brifysgol a ymddirchiadwyd I mi derbaniad chwi roedd baglwr mewn gwyddoniaeth ac I holl ffraniau radd hon. Congratulations.
Sebastian Nicholson. Philip Stevenson. Samuel Stribbons. Alexander Carl Stewart. Guy Charles Trebilcock. Ian David Winterbottom. Stuart James Archer. Robert Arnold. Hazel Kernow. Daniel Christopher Davis. Richard Davis. Benjamin Charles Einan. Hayley Fullick. Katie Bernadette Gatcombe. Robert James Harris. Tristan Hughes. Barnaby Arthur James Earlham, Miles Edward Kynaston, Simon Palmer, Kelly Richards, Amy Rogers, Matthew Peter Sage, Glenn Nicholas Salmon, Anthony James Smith, Catherine Rhiannon Boyle, Robert Glenn Wason, Ian Cameron Wells,
Rwy awdurdod a brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniad chwir a baglor mewn gwyddoniaeth ag I holl freniau rachon. Congratulations.
James Scott Whiteley, Sophie Elizabeth Alice Farrell, Jennifer Bates, Mark Stephen Bell, Catherine Ann Christopher, William Conran, James Henry Cook, Ben Cripps, Thomas Dudley Davenport, Thomas Dawkins, Elizabeth Kathleen Evans, Nicholas James Foley, Danielle Fox, Rowanna Gota, Samuel Nicholas Gooch, Natasha Kerry Holder, Robert James Humphreys, Matthew David Arson, Ross James, Leah Victoria Jones, Emily Larrett Tansley, Jennifer Joy Line, Daniel Robert Mottram, Deborah Noyes, Paul Robert Parker.
Rwy awdurdod a brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniad chwir a baglor mewn gwyddoniaeth ag I holl freniau rachon. Congratulations.
Perks. Gethin Iwan Richards. Alex Rudman. Dan Ryan. Michael Ridyard. Lorna Jane Skerlock. Alec Robert Taylor. Oliver Tolcher. Laura Jennifer Tunwell. Hannah Rosemary Upshur. David Westbrook. Alice Wilson. Oliver Young.
Rwy awdurdod a brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi a baglor mewn gwyddoniaeth ac I holl ffraniau'r hon. Congratulations.
I, Professor Diane Edwards, introduce those who have received the degree of Master in Earth Sciences. Rwy fi yr athro Diane Edwards yn cyflwyno'r rhai sydd wedi derbyn gradd athro men gwyddor daear. Diane Chung. Adam Paul James Curtis. Kirsty Helen Sweeney. Felicity Ann Williams. Louis Emery. Helen Elizabeth Farhall. Stephen Andrew Hayward. Benjamin Wesley. Benjamin James Lepley. Alexandra Catherine Cross-Cohen.
Rwy awdurdod a brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi gradd athro man gwyddorau'r ddaear ac I holl ffraniau'r hon. Congratulations.
I, Dr. Bernard Richardson, introduce those who have received the degree of Bachelor of Science. Craig Kenneth Devlin. Joseph Horton. Scott Charles Houston. Simon Kenneth Daniel Buku. Darrell Jody Kilgannon. Geraint John Payton. Christopher Mark Smith. Paul David Turner. Daniel Bagg. Thomas Goebel. Stephen Daniel Hiscox. James Hornblower. Thomas Peter Kavanagh. James Presley. Timothy James Sims. Matthew Swinbank. Andrew Douglas Tom. Andrew White. Martin Wickens. John Foster Hart. Virginia Jean Boys. Emily Joel. Kerry Lisa Williams.
Rwy awdurdod a brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaeth chwi rath baglor mewn gwyddoniaeth ac I holl freniau rath hon. Congratulations.
I, Dr. Bernard Richardson, introduce those who have received the degree of Master in Physics. Stephanie Ann Martha Dalmeida. Paul Alexander Giles. Christian Jeffrey Clive Parsons. Kyle Rantanen. Victoria Ann Roloff. Samuel Alexander Henry Bryant. Bryony Roxanne Diamond. Amanda Gwen Hartshorn. Matthew Hutchins. Christopher Robert Nash. Samuel Schutz.
Rwy awdurdod a brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaeth chwi rath athro mewn PHYSX ac I holl freniau rath hon. Congratulations.
I, Professor John Pearce, introduce those who have received the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Rebecca Susan Davis. Charlotte Louise James. Elise Jenkins. Sophie Rhiannon Jones. Reena Binti Rahmad. Emma Louise Williams. Hannah Elizabeth Worrell.
Rwy awdurdod a brifysgol a ymddirchiadwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi roedd baglor yn y celfyddydau ac I holl frania rachon. Congratulations.
I, Professor John Pearce, introduce those who have received the degree of Bachelor of Science. Nicola Adcock. Lucy Abigail Beaumont. Charlotte Bebb. Lara Marguerite Best. Emily Jane Boxer. Karina Emily Chambers. Alice Mary Clark. Charlotte Gabrielle Cook. Julia Cook. Sarah Elizabeth Cunningham. Mariam Darwish. Evan Alexander Davis. Kelly Grace Marie Di Nattorio. Catherine Grace Ellis. Sarah Victoria Grant. Rachel Hamblin. Naomi Jane Harris. David John Harrison. Zoe Hildry. Angela Hughes. Jocelyn Hutchinson. Christine Patricia Izzett. Emma Jarvis. Caroline Rebecca John. Nicola Jones. Samantha Jones.
Rwy awdurdod a prifysgol a ymddirchiadwyd I mi derbaniaf chwir o baglor mewn gwyddoniaeth ac I holl frania rachon. Congratulations.
Robert Joseph Kempson. David William Maidment. Elizabeth Ruby McCoy. Catherine Miller. Rebecca Laura Mary Minton. Rebecca May Morgan. Rose Murphy. Laura Jane O'Farrell. Jennifer Olenek. Cheryl Palmer. Malika Helene Pavey. Rebecca Jane Phillips. R.T. Ruparelia. Charlotte Elizabeth Russell. Jennifer Ellen Seeley. Jenna Lauren Spink. Kaylee Marie Jones Story. Sophie Elizabeth Thomas. Mary Tremaine. Marianne Elizabeth Truman. Alice Weaver. Sarah Louise Wright. Erica Claire Baker. Sian Rebecca Baker. Rebecca Brent Jones.
Trwy awdurdod a brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwir a baglor mewn gwyddoniau ac I holl freniau rathon. Congratulations.
Rachel Claire Brown. Rachel Stephanie Brown. Sasha Brown. Colleen Bridget Carey. Kelvin Wing Chung Chung. Sarah Joanne Chutter. Kiri Lynette Clark. Kerry Sian Clutterbuck. Richard Collins. Emma Louise Court. Annabelle Louisa Dallin. Christina Claudia Dembski. Claire Louise Dent. Karina Jane Dixon. Emma Doige. Maria Docanari. Kate Louise Duffy. Laura Early. Jessica Eddy. Rosie Elizabeth Edwards. Chloe Eleftheriadis. Stephanie Farah. Nicola Felkin. Daniel Fry. Zoe Garbett.
Rwy awdurdod a brifysgol ymddirchiedwyd I mi derbaniad chwir a baglor mewn gwyddoniau ac I holl rani'r hon. Congratulations.
Lisa Katie Goddard. Lauren Grew. Thenos Griffith. Mary Halsey. Rebecca Hardcastle. James Harris. Anwen Linton Harry. Nicola Harriet Hartshorn. Sophie Hassel. Philippa Hatton. Elizabeth Ann Hills. Katie Hines. Kate Ruth Horn. Amy Howes. Nathan James Hughes. Laurie Elizabeth Hunt. Martha Vosleth Eder. Anne Idden. Catherine Ann Ireland. Joanne Amy Izzet. Emma Sonia Jevons. Catherine Johnston. Claire Louise Jones. Daniel Ivett Jones. Mallory Lynn Jones.
Rwy awdurdod a Prifysgol a ymddirchiadwyd I mi derbynio chwir a baglor mewn gwyddoniau ac ei holl franiau rathon. Congratulations.
Natasha Louise Kalebik. Hannah Katie Keddy. Emma Elizabeth Ann Keeble. Rianne Laura Powell Knipe. Michael Dmitrievich Kozlov. Natalia Kurish. Nikki Kiriakou. Samantha Lee. Caroline Philippa Leach. Hannah Gwynne Lewis. Kate Rhiannon Lewis. Laura Jo Lydiard. Catherine Maria Lunter. Siobhan Marnie. Alexandria MacDonald. Roseanne Alice Morgan. Charlotte Sonia Morris. Catherine Mule-Egger. Heather Newman. Catherine Julia O'Neill. Tamara Leonie Otter. Laura Joanne Page. Laura Peel. Claire Barbara Perry. Lauren Elizabeth Perry.
Pwy awdurdod a Prifysgol a ymddirchiadwyd I mi derbynio chwir a baglor mewn gwyddoniau ac ei holl franiau rathon. Congratulations.
Neil Peskett. Rebecca Gabrielle Pitts. Mark Andrew Postons. Laura Susan Elizabeth Prestige. Pia Marjut Pulkinen. Amy Cameron Redfern. Sarah Jane Richards. Donna Mare Roberts. Sarah Louise Roberts. Cassandra Rogers. Rosanna Rogers. Sarah Elizabeth Royce Greensill. Rebecca Russell. Adam James Salt. Chloe Rose Sellers. Katie Louise Charland. Bryony Claire Sheaves. Catherine Mary Shepherd. Emma Catherine Skinner. Kim Leanne Steer. Roseanne Janet Stenner. Andrew Stone. Michael Colin Taylor. Jessica Margaret Tom. Andrew George Thomas.
Trwy awdurdod a prifysgol am ddirchiedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwith raf baglor mewn gwyddoniaeth ac I holl ffreniau rahon. Congratulations.
Sarah Victoria Thomas. Amy J. Thorne. Alexandra Trevis. Louise Trott. Nina Vickers. Celia Vollmer. Susan Francis Watts. Heather Claire Webb. Lara Tamsin Wheatley. Nancy J. White. Emma Laura Wickstead. Kate Elizabeth Willis. Toby Alexander Willis. Jenica Claire Wilshire. Rebecca Louise Witt. Samantha Marie Yandel. Holly Young. Honna Alice Mafanwi Young.
Trwy awdurdod a brifysgol, ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniau chwir a baglor mewn gwyddoniau ac I holl franiau rachon. Congratulations.
I, Professor Teresa Rees, introduce those who have received the degree of the Award of Graduate Diploma. Rachel Flanagan. Claire Graham. Elizabeth Payne-Scad. Natalie Jane Joseph. Anya Marie Lombard. Elaine Mahone. Sinead O'Sullivan. Edward Oliver Sayer.
Trwy awdurdod y brifysgol ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniau chwir, diploma graddedig. Congratulations.
I, Professor Teresa Rees, introduce those who have received the degree of Master of Science. Lucas James Isaac Bush. Colin Michael Chapman. Louise Jane Dow. Richard Greenhall. David Anthony Hannam. Jason Robert Hudson. Robert Giage. Beth Perkins. Christopher Lawrence Powell. Laura Emily Pring. Tasmina Rose. Simon Andrew Stoker. Lara Jane Weaver. James Richard Ferguson. Christos Mazikas. Sarah Maria McPhee. Ailsa Charlotte Bernadette McPherson. Rebecca Louise McNeese. Liange Chen. Maria Helen Clarkson. Adidamola Samuel Falarin. Mark Hodgett. David Allard Jones. Gavin Robert Newton Moore. Marianne Morley. And Stephen James Muggeridge.
Trwy awdurdod a brifysgol ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniad chwir rath athro mewn gwyddoniaeth ac I holl franiau rachon. Congratulations.
Ingrid Smet. Charlotte Jane Wakefield. David Rhys Bowen. Alexa Victoria Burgess. Anya Duggan. Nicole Louise Ferguson. Benjamin Robert Fittle. Claire Forrest. Abigail Caroline Goldsmith. Dorian Holland. Soraya Noreen Hussain. Connor Kennedy. Susan Jane Paddock. Noelle Rock. Anna Louise Scott. Jennifer Ann Shaw. Richard James Stockhill. Jill Walters. Sarah Claire Watty. David John Wilson. Elizabeth Winder. And Wai Yin Wong.
Trwy awdurdod a brifysgol ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniad chwir rath athro mewn gwyddoniaeth ac I holl franiau rachon. Congratulations.
I, Professor Teresa Rees, introduce those who have received the degree of Master of Philosophy. Bethan Akbani Mortimer.
Trwy awdurdod a brifysgol ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniad chwir rath athro mewn athroniau ac I holl frania rahon. Congratulations.
I, Professor Teresa Rees, introduce those who have received the degree of Doctor of Clinical Psychology. Helen Louise Collishaw. Emily Sarah Hazel. Glynwen Lloyd Jones. Eleanor Maybury. Lynn McDonnell. Bethan Phillips, I beg your pardon. Pamela Roberts. Jessica Quirk. And Sarah Tomlinson.
Rwy awdurdod a brifysgol am deirchiedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwir roedd doethyr mewn seicoleg clinigol ac I holl frania rothon. Congratulations.
I, Professor Teresa Rees, introduce those who have received the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Jessica Aitken. Robbie Auld. Catherine Baudin. Christine Binns. Sabribo Eugene Briggs. Catherine Chaplin. David Rodri Davis. Andrew Edmonds. Gareth Edwards. Helena K. Evans. Robert John Evans. Christopher Grand. Gemma Hale. Alan Hasty. Brian Hatton. And Pavi Tulu Henia.
Rwy awdurdod a brifysgol am ddirchiedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwir o doethyr mewn athroniau ac I holl frenia rothon. Congratulations.
Peter James Hills. Christina Jane Howard. Andrew James Johnson. Eva Gabriel Krumhuber. Elizabeth Molyneux. Helen Louise Penny. Laura Ann Perrines. Craig Anthony Kett Robinson. Elena Sakolo. Mia Schmidt-Hansen. Bruce Sibthorpe. Samuel Matthew Waldron. And Susan Claire Wilkinson.
Rwy awdurdod a brifysgol a ymddirchiadwyd i mi derbynio chwir a doethyr mewn athroniaeth ac I holl freniau rath hon. Congratulations.
Can I invite all of those of you who've received your awards this afternoon to stand so that you can receive the greetings of the President's representative, Sir Donald Walters, and Amy Harrison, the representative of the Students' Union. Please be standing.
May your care ever be for the success and good name of our university and our country. Boed ar gobl yn wastad dros llwyr, ac yn rhydydd un prifysgol yn gwlad.
You are now members of distinguished alumni of this university. May your association with the university be cherished and be constant throughout your life, and may your care ever be for the fellowship of our university and the welfare of all people.
Congratulations. Llongyfarchiadau. Before you sit down, I'm sure that all you very proud graduates this afternoon would like to join in a long-standing tradition at Cardiff University. That is to pay a special tribute to your families, friends and supporters who've helped you in so many ways over so many years, emotionally, academically and no doubt financially. And indeed to thank the academic staff who've helped you reach this important point in your life today. Can I therefore invite you all to turn around and greet your family and friends, and if they haven't been able to be with you here today, feel free to wave into the cameras for the webcast, and say a special and public thank you to them all by giving them a cheer and an enthusiastic round of applause. Thank you all very much. Please sit down.
Vice-Chancellor, Professor Sir Roger Williams was educated at Tredegar Grammar School, Worcester College, Oxford, and the University of Manchester. After a period with the National Coal Board in operational research from 1963 to 4, he was in the University of Manchester Department of Government from 1966 to 93, being Professor of Government and Science Policy from 1979 to 93, and Head of Department from 1984 to 88, as well as Dean of Economics and Social Studies from 1989 to 92. During this period, he also spent time on secondment in the United States, Canada, and Australia. Influential work on science policy propelled Professor Williams into public life. One of the largest subjects he tackled in print, nuclear power, is now once more in the public eye, and we eagerly await Sir Roger's updated work on the subject. His cautious acceptance in the past of the need for nuclear power was important in encouraging measured progress while reining in unthinking enthusiasm. He became Special Advisor to the House of Lords Select Committee on Science and Technology from 1986 to 1992, and on the European Communities in 1990. Sir Roger was a member of the Advisory Board for the Science Policy Research Unit between 1987 and 1997, Chairman of the Joint Committee of Science and Engineering Research Council and the Economic and Social Research Council between 1991 and 93. He has also been a member of various committees of the current research councils, including the ESRC, the Engineering and Physical Sciences Research Council, and the Natural Environment Research Council. From 1993 to 2003, he was Vice-Chancellor of the University of Reading and was a founding member of the Quality Assurance Agency for Higher Education, which he served from 1997 to 2002. Sir Roger joined the Higher Education Funding Council for Wales in 1995 and was appointed acting chairman in 2000 and chairman in 2002, being reappointed until April 2008. He was awarded a knighthood in the 2006 Queen's Birthday Honours List in recognition of his services to higher education. Sir Roger is reputed to have one of the most retentive memories to be found in a public figure. It is seen in lighter form when he gives the public lectures for which he is famous, delighting audiences in Cunardas on the high seas with original examinations of history, starting not with the huge mountain peaks which anyone can notice, but with those tiny agate points on which Winston Churchill maintained history turns. It is perhaps this interest in the minimal that accounts for the fact that the biography he originally supplied for this ceremony is one of the shortest a prospective fellow has ever offered us. Alternatively, the brevity may follow from his admiration of the 30th President of the United States, Calvin Coolidge, a man so well-educated but laconic that it was said that he could be silent in 5 languages. There is, sir, as you know, some sensitivity to naming Calvin Coolidge in Wales, ever since it was reported that Ronald Reagan had had his portrait put up in the White House in place of that of Thomas Jefferson, thus apparently demoting the only American president of Welsh parentage. Fortunately, when we come to examine Sir Roger's record of service at the Higher Education Funding Council for Wales, we find that he is in no way implicated in this disrespect for the Principality, being himself, of course, a striking example of that almost mythic status, the Welsh boy made good in England, returning triumphant to his native land. He was an admired and energetic chair of our funding council and, like one of his historic models, fought ceaselessly against the forces of mediocrity, always ready to mass against him. We at Cardiff owe him much. It is a pleasant duty to propose him as an honorary fellow. And rhadedes is gang hellor, cyflwyna fi ti ar athro Sir Roger Williams fel cymrawd Erenradydd Prifysgol Caerdydd.
awdurdod a roddwyd I ni gan y cyngor derbaniad di, fel cymrawd am Prydain, Brifysgol Caerdydd.
Vice-Chancellor, fellow graduands, ladies and gentlemen, the University of Cardiff has done me a signal honour, one which my wife and I greatly appreciate. It's also especially pleasing that despite what it says in Matthew chapter 13, verse 57, since I was born in Tredegar, I've effectively been honoured in my own land. I'm also delighted to have been honoured this particular year when, as we know, Cardiff is celebrating its 125th anniversary, and when the published figures demonstrate quite unequivocally the high international ranking which Cardiff has now achieved. When I was myself the Vice-Chancellor, I would say on occasions like this that we in these robes were temporary, and that it was the university which endured. I add now that I know with certainty that Cardiff will both endure and prosper, its future even more glittering than its distinguished immediate past. For my wife and me, this is actually our second graduation ceremony in Cardiff, our younger daughter having graduated here in medicine a few years ago. Britain's universities, taken together, are exceptionally strong. Indeed, only the American university system could perhaps be held to be stronger. These two systems naturally have much in common, but there's one feature of their system where we rather lag. This is the commitment by each year's graduating class, by the alumni collectively, to the long-term health and well-being of the institution from which they've come. I hope that one day soon we will, in this too, emulate our American cousins. I can claim some affiliation with two of the three groups of students graduating in this ceremony. And as to the third group, my wife would say that the fact that she took a psychology degree is what has helped her for the last 41 years to make at least some sense of me. It was, in fact, 45 years ago this summer that I managed a physics degree at Oxford. My first thought, when I found I was to be in this ceremony, was that I was a very bad example for the physicist here, in that I have never, even for a single day, practiced as a physicist. But then, when I reflected on some of the things which I have done, including having half of my professorial chair in the politics department at Manchester, as you heard, I decided that the true lesson is that with a physics degree, you can do absolutely anything. In mitigation, I am the happy owner of a good astronomical telescope. The Earth and Ocean Science graduates will probably know that it was on this day, July the 16th, 1969, that Armstrong, Aldrin, and Collins took off in Apollo 11 for the first moon landing. And the physicists may know that it was on July the 16th, 1945, that the Earth's very first nuclear explosion was triggered at Alamogordo in New Mexico. We've long since come to understand of virtually all breakthroughs in science that they are neither good nor bad in themselves, but rather that their virtue or their vice derives from the use to which we put them. In my case, the nearest I came to practicing as a physicist was when I briefly accepted, I didn't take it up, a research position at Culham. Culham in 1964 not long opened as Britain's Centre for Research in Nuclear Fusion. We thought back then that fusion was the physics equivalent of the cure for cancer, promising unlimited clean energy. A fusion reactor, we were sure, was only a few years away, and 40 years on, we still think that. Later, in 1980, I published a book on Britain's experience with nuclear fission power, and this year, rather remarkably, someone I had taught at Manchester in the 1970s, and who is now at a senior position in the Science Museum, asked me to lecture there on the same subject. Nuclear power, rather like Rip Van Winkle, has, it seems, at last woken up. On the other hand, for those unsure about nuclear power, I would remind you that in Cardiff we are only a few miles from perhaps the best source of tidal energy in the world, the Severn Estuary. Certainly, the problem of providing acceptably for the world's energy needs is one which your generation must solve, my generation having been much too casual and careless. And energy is very far from the only problem before you. But as well-trained scientists, you will surely do much better than my generation did. And if we are at last properly to look after this quite fragile planet, I have no doubt the psychologists as well will have something to say to the matter. You should fear nothing except underestimating yourselves. I found it honour enough to chair the Higher Education Funding Council for Wales. Today it has been my very great privilege to share your ceremony. Yours is the really hard-won achievement, and I congratulate you upon it. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, as someone who has been a lover of opera all his adult life, having attended my first opera during my years as an undergraduate, it gives me particularly great pleasure to introduce from the Cardiff International Academy of Voice one of our students. Her name is Tanya Pivovarova, and she is going to sing to you O mio Bathiro caro by Puccini, O mio Babino caro by Puccini, and she will be accompanied by Philip Waldeman on the piano, who is also one of the members of the Academy. Ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce Tanya to you. Ladies and gentlemen, literally a high note on which to end these proceedings. I can, with all my sincerity, commend to you opera as the complete art form. Some of you may be interested already, but those who will seek an interest in it, I'm sure, will not be disappointed. Right, well now, as a member of the University Council, I have the duty to draw these proceedings to a close. This occasion is naturally one of the most pleasurable in the university calendar. It's a joy to be on the platform and to see the pride and relief of all the new graduates as they cross the stage. The culmination of what undoubtedly has been lots of agonizing, lots of work, perhaps a moment of despair, but you've come through it all with flying colors, and congratulations. As you go as graduates in the world in the university's 125th anniversary year, I hope you'll take with you happy memories of your time here, and indeed in Cardiff. In confidence that your studies have been a valuable contribution to your lives, and a determination to use your talents in the services of humanity at all times. Ladies and gentlemen, a safe journey home, and thank you very much for attending these proceedings.